Okay, so you want to know how to read VAD in regards to turning around and also continuing a trend. Right up here, I'm going to start right up here, just at open, we had a little bit of chop. Yes, I'm recording. We had a little bit of chop right here, and if you look back, okay, so it comes up, hits settlement, and what do we expect at settlement? It's probably going to chop. And it did. Right at open, it had nice tight coil chop, and then it looks like we had some bad long divergence, which means you want to go short, which is exactly why I put my order underneath this mini magnet. This is one from today. I'm guessing it was probably laid down right here. But oh jeez, hang on a minute. Oh, Amber Alert. Haven't heard that on my phone for a local one yet. Okay. So where was I? So we have tight coil chop, and for me, I use a lot of times I use the magnets as breakout points. These mini magnets as breakout points. It looked like we had green divergence, so I'm going to be going short. We're going short, and this ZOI was not put in yet, I don't think. I don't know for sure. So we're in, and it goes down, and I'm pretty sure that I looked at the IR indicator to see where I wanted to head. Okay. Let's see. I gotta find the time here. Try to get this stuff all. Oh, I hit too much. Okay. It was about. We're in at 9:36. Okay, so at 9:36 we get in. And we're right at the middle here, so I'm going to expect it's at least going to go down to 47.90, which is right about where I got out. That's where I, because we're at it hovered around this middle line on the institutional range indicator. So if it hovered that long and that tight, I am thinking it's going to hit this outer line. Either one of these, any of these lines are targets. They are dynamic. They change with the day, as the day goes on. But my first indication is going to be, I'm going to think it's going to go down to this. Because we had so much tight chop for so long, I'm thinking it's going to go somewhere. So if you look, back it up once. If I look to 490.5, 490. Okay, so that's where I gave it space. We had this huge sling, which for me is really hard to sit through, but everything indicated it was going down. We had green divergence. The IR played right at this level for a long time, and so I'm going to go with this yellow level here. And I like this because this is a 5-minute bar, so I know it only took 5 minutes to get there, which is my favorite kind of trade. And so, down it goes. I gave it space. And I had protected at like probably a tick or two. And once I get past this elevator, this sling, then I'm going to bring it down because it's probably not going to go back up and test that high. Then I'm going to bring it down to probably, I don't remember where I put it, probably right in here where I'll protect. And then I want to make sure and protect my 20 ticks as quickly as I can because I want to make sure at least I've got my scalp, and then after that let it go. But my target was right in here because of my institutional range. So it hit that, and then it's going, I figure it's going to probably chop around a little bit, and it did. And then what's this tell us? We have divergence going short. When it's done chopping, we have divergence. And I like it went, we had a flat MVP. And so I'm going to put an order up here above the swing level, which it didn't have any swing dots, but you don't need swing dots. It's still a swing level. It had went up here. It's basically the top of the chop box. And so I'm going to put my order a few ticks above the chop box. And in this case, I think that at least part of this was in. I don't know if it was that big, but I'm going to assume that it's going to go up through there at least to get a chop trade. And then the next place that I'm going to protect is going to be right there at the that red power line, I think so. Yep, red power line, which happens to be a previous swing point. So when it went up past that, I brought my stop up here and I got hit immediately, which was okay with me because it went right back down. And I did not see any indication to get in here. We had some south divergence, and then we had the green, which it showed kind of convergence there. It increased, and then it came down, and at this point, this is a bigger chop, and so this is what I don't like. But when it reaches the bottom of this chop, let me see if I can put a box in here. Okay, that's kind of my chop box now. Okay, so when I come through here and it reaches the bottom of my chop box, I'm going to look down at the VAD. And do you see, I'm holding it right on this bar that is close. And if you look to your left, what do you see? It doesn't even have as much volume as the previous when it hit this point before, right here. It didn't even have, it had, well, you said at that point it did not have that much volume. Hard to show this with. Okay, so it's this one right here. Make it yellow so it stands out. Okay. So it comes down, and then I can put another one here. Let's see. Okay, so it's, change it again. Okay, so you can see that you can see which VAD bar we're looking at. Okay, it's this one right here, right in front of this line. Okay, and if I look straight across at the last time it was at this level, it doesn't even have it doesn't even meet the volume quite. It comes really close, but it doesn't quite meet the volume. So this tells me it's probably not going to go far past it. I don't want to take that swing. It did go past it, but not very much. But if it doesn't have exceeding volume, if the VAD volume doesn't pick up as it's going through, I'd like it even to be picked up a little bit of volume before it hits that same level. But if it doesn't pick up volume as it's going through, I don't want to take that swing. That is a really good indication of how do you know when to take a swing or not. It'll keep you, I mean, there are still some fake breaks that'll get you. You'll have increasing volume, it'll break a few ticks, and then it won't go any further, and they'll go the other direction. And if that happens, then it's probably going to go somewhere in the other direction and break, because even with increased volume, it couldn't go down very far. So it will get you sometimes, because if you have increased volume, that's why I like to set my order when it's this wide of chop. I'm going to set my order, if I have a magnet down here, which I don't in this case, but I want to set that order at a at a level that is an important level. In this case, do you see where oh, you have an arrow, you probably don't have the crosshairs. Okay, there was a swing point here. You could set it below the swing point, or you could set it below this swing point. That's quite a ways down. I don't like that one, but you could set it below this swing point, and if it, does go below, then you're okay. But in this case, I wouldn't have taken it at all because you didn't have exceeding volume as it was going through. You ended up with exceeding volume down here, but that's way after the fact. I don't want it. You want to look at the level of VAD volume as it's hitting the same level it previously hit. You have to add the magnets manually, yes. They're the ones that are called out in the room, and you do have to add the magnets manually. It is, right now, it's a pain in the butt. Absolutely, but it's well worth it. Okay, so if that helps you at all to figure out which breakouts, I mean, this one to me was a no-brainer, leave it alone. And it won't always be. I mean, sometimes it'll be really close and you won't have any real idea. Sometimes it'll fake you out and you'll get you anyway. But as a general rule, if it's not exceeding the previous VAD volume at that same level, leave it alone. Now, if it had gone up and down and up and down and up and down, and then you come down to this level, well, that's not going to tell you anything, because it's got to be just recent that it hit this spot in chop. Oh, I know, right, Dottie? Craig is amazing in calling out those levels. And big shout out thanks to that. Okay, so does that kind of help you understand the how to know when it's breaking out? Now up here we don't have anything to tell us. I mean, yeah, we had this level right here, I guess. So when it was hitting this level, we had our VAD here. Okay, how about that? So when it hit this level, the VAD volume was a little bit higher. If you look here and go down, we're looking at this right here compared to this right here. As you got to go with the one that's actually meeting up, and that's this one. You did not have excess volume, so that pretty much told you it's probably not going to go. And sure enough, then a couple bars later, you had a little more volume. But if you don't have exceeding volume as it's approaching that level, you don't want to try to take that break. Does that help? Because it's kind of hard to look. I'm going to do a quick screenshot so I can show you a little bit better with the screenshot. Can make markups on the chart a little bit better. And I'll go over that one more time. Okay. We can do, for the top breakout, okay, you're looking at the top of your chop box. And so go straight down to where it originally hit that spot, which was right there. And then where it is just about to hit again, which is right there. Wait a minute. We're breaking up here. What am I doing wrong? We want to go for breaking up. And we didn't have any VAD volume here going up. So, oh, I went way over to here. Okay, that's why I'm confused. Jeez, this is a bad time of day to do a recording. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. Okay, and we're looking at this bar as it's approaching it. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, now if we look straight across, I put this right at the top over here. You see where we did not have exceeding volume? We didn't have it increase. I'll leave a little bit there. We didn't have this bar as it meets here, did not increase from this bar here. So chances are it's not going to go far if it breaks through. So we don't want to take that. VAD volume is the height of the bars. And this is why we haven't really gone into explaining this stuff yet, and it is very confusing. It took a lot of learning to figure this out. Okay, so then, do you guys see why when it hit the same spot? Do you see what I'm looking at here? Not volume 8, no, VAD volume, which is the size of these bars. Forget about volume 8, Anthony. We are not looking at volume 8. We're looking at just the VAD volume. VAD is a volume. Okay, so then we come down, we're going to come down to get this level again. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. So we're coming down to here. So as this bar approaches, where is that volume? And where was it the last time we were here? Do we have any more volume going across here? Oh, come on. On this bar versus this bar, it looks pretty much the same. That tells me at the same level, same point, we're not likely to break very far. Yeah, it looks about the same. To the eye, at an estimation, you can't see a difference. So it did break, but it didn't go far. I'm not going to touch that. I want to see this volume exceeding the past volume at that level a little bit more than that. And it didn't. It did not. Not. Okay, so we didn't take that one. Okay, and then let's just go up for this. Let's move our chop box. Come on. Oh, I can't move it because that's okay. Yeah, I'm losing my marbles here. Okay, so here's our kind of bigger chop box now. I'm not crazy about trading in the middle of all this stuff. So now we've got a bigger chop box. So when we reach the top of this box, right about where this is, let's look back here. Where was our volume? Okay, and here, as it's approaching, so that's well, it would be this bar as it's approaching. Okay. Except that's going to be the other direction already, so you have to take the last one in. Do we have more volume? We absolutely do not. So I'm not going to take this breakout because you don't have increasing volume from this one to this one. I'm not going to take that. And it did break a little, but it was more of a fake break. So that's where it tells me which breakouts I don't want to take. It does a pretty good job to tell you that, you know, the volume is not increasing as it's approaching that. So you don't want it. Now when it gets here, the very next time it gets up here, which is this bar. Okay. It's this bar. No, we're looking at this tall one. Jeez Louise. You sure you want to listen to me on this? Okay, we don't have bigger VAD volume on this one going across either. Okay, and we did not have what looks like divergence here going short. So this was kind of an iffy thing as far as breaking out. VAD did not give us a clue. It really didn't. It didn't say we didn't have bigger volume, and yet they took that anyway. What I was looking at on that was we hit it and we hit it and we hit it, and when it finally blows, it's going to go, and that's what because it hit it so many times. So that's what I was looking at. It had here's an arrow and an area, and then it went up past this area. And when it finally, I did say when it gets past all this, there's a whole bunch of magnets and stuff in here. And when it gets past all this stuff, then we're going to have something. Well, you'll see that I put my entry above this ZOI. There's a great big ZOI in here, I think. It's hard to tell anymore what this stuff is. Maybe it's through here. And I was thinking it was going to go up to the ice and take a quick scalp, and it surprised me and went up. So this last one did not give us an indication to take that. That was more of okay, it'd probably go and test that ZOI and that strong level. So that was more what I was looking at as a quick scalp there. And it surprised me and went up. So it's not 100%, nothing ever is. Is it because the convergence going short had more than the previous and didn't make a new low? No, because it wasn't even playing near it. It just, to me, it wasn't. This is too far away from the same level in order to hit that low. So I'm going to ignore the short. It didn't show divergence, so that's one thing that's against it. But for me, it was more, I saw this. You've got the red ice, you've got this huge magnet that's been hit several times today, and plus you've got a ZOI which goes from here up to here. One side of that ZOI, actually it goes up to the ice. So when it broke through the ZOI, I'm thinking, yep, I've got myself a little scalp up to the red ice, and that's what I was thinking. And then it surprised me and went further. So that was nice. Went all the way up, and I protected at the what is that, blue ice? Yeah. So that's, and then let's see. Okay, no other questions yet. But then, okay, here you're hitting a new area that we don't have anything to compare it to, so we can't look at the difference in one area to another to see if it's going to go down further. We don't know, but it's forming a new chop area. Let's see. Came down to here, so I know my chop is at least like that, is what I'm going to assume for now. So it comes up here and stops, so then you just kind of increase your chop box. And when it comes, let's see what this showed us. Okay. So we've got we're gonna go from where was I gonna go here? This, okay, is going to be the last one, and then as it approaches this point, what do we have? Nowhere near that volume. Is it probably going to go on this time down? Is it probably going to break out there? No. That's a big difference. I don't even have to think about that one. I'm not taking that. Okay, and then you come down again as it's approaching again, which would be right here. You still don't have good divergence. I mean, you're coming down and you're meeting your low, and you still don't have it any bigger than the previous. It might be a little bit bigger than the previous one, but this one still, it's going to tell me that it's probably not going to go far. I'm not going to want that breakout. And it went a little bit. You might, you have a ZOI here. This might be worthy of a quick scalp through the ZOI. But I wouldn't expect much more because your volume here is so weak on the VAD, and it was really strong here. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I'm not taking that trade. And then, is it going to, it's certainly not going to break out. Let's look at the breakout going up and see. It's going to change our chop box a little bit. Come on. Oh, I can't change that on that, can I? Okay, so we have a new chop box. So here, if we're wondering, is it going to break out north here? Well, let's see. As it approaches, what do we have? The last time, what did we have? Do we have exceeding volume as it's reaching that level? No. So it's probably not likely to break. If anything, you're going to be looking more for a short. But even those, they don't tell us. This little stuff, that just means chop. So does that help you at all read the chop breakouts? That's kind of what I was after here, is to give you a clue on the chop breakouts. It's not an easy thing, and don't just trade off the VAD, never. You have your chop box, and look at your mini magnet levels, your ZOIs. Settlements there, that's huge. You've got your ice level. I think this is ice. Maybe not. Maybe that's a power line. But you've got settlement. You've got a huge level here. It's just going to probably bounce. And sure enough, it did. Okay. The VAD, we're looking at divergence. We're always looking for divergence. Here we had big time divergence, but I find it really useful in using it with the chop boxes. And if you find this all clear as mud, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it at all. It'll come together. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.